United States enters the final stretch of the presidential elections. In Venezuela, more than 300 representatives of the legislative body will participate from today until tomorrow in the anti-fascist World Parliamentary Forum. In Lebanon, the Zionist army committed a new aggression against a suburb in Sidon, killing at least 3 people. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR studios in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with the news. Stay with us. To go deep into the details about the electoral process that is taking place in the United States, we are joined from Washington by our special envoy, Carlos Montero. Welcome, Carlos, to From the South.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me. Special day today. We are so close to election, and if you ask me, how's the feeling here in the capital of the USA? Uncertainty. All the polls, they show it a very close election tomorrow. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, they are on a technical tie. People don't know what's going to happen. I've seen a lot of stores that people are scared of the windows, the big windows, and they are putting plaques of good to protect them just in case tomorrow there is any kind of violence if mostly Donald Trump followers don't accept the result. What's going on today? Today is the last day that the candidates have a chance to convince the voters. Kamala Harris is going to be the whole day in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a very important state. It's a state that could define the election. Usually it's called, there are 7 states in this election that could go from red or blue, either one, like a pendulum. Pennsylvania is so important for Kamala Harris. She's going to put all her energy there. She's going to different places, different cities, and at 9 is going to be a big finale of her campaign, a big finale that's going to be Lady Gaga, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is one of the most important journalists here in the USA. We are paying a lot of attention what she's going to say. This past weekend, Saturday and Sunday, on Sunday she said, "I'm tired of violence, I'm tired of insulting, I'm not going to do any more of this." And she didn't mention Donald Trump. You know, the two of them are in a very fierce adversary. Donald Trump, what he's going to do? Donald Trump, he's going to visit 3 states. The same, 3 states that could go either Democrat or Republican. He's going to start in North Carolina, in Raleigh. Then he's going to go where is Kamala, in Pennsylvania. He's going to visit 2 cities in Pennsylvania, and then he's going to close in Michigan, a big finale of his campaign. Let's go to see what's happened there. A lot of news this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Trump, like always, say things that scare people. For example, let me tell you, he said in one of those meetings, he said, you know, I was a victim of 2 terrorism attacks. That's right, he was victim of 2 terrorism attacks. I wouldn't be scared if somebody wants to shoot me again, that the bullet went through the media, the journalists, the fake media. I wouldn't mind if that happened, you know, something that you cannot believe. He said that. Oh, but tomorrow is going to be the big day. The decision is going to be on the American people, and let's see what's happened. A lot of people ask me, are we going to know the results by the end of the day tomorrow? It's going to be very difficult. We are going to see around 9-10 p.m. that the station are going to start saying what station they think, what state they think each candidate won, but it's going to be so close, that race, that very difficult, that tomorrow we go to bed knowing who is going to be the future president of the United States. teleSUR is going to have a very important coverage. We have a big team here in Washington. We are going to broadcast for teleSUR Español and telesur English. And I hope you have a chance to be with us because it's going to be an historic day and you are going to get all the details here in telesur Spanish and telesur English. Back to you.
Thank you, Carlos, for all the information from first hand. We were talking to Carlos Montero, teleSUR's special envoy to Washington, one day away from Tuesday's key presidential election in the U.S. And with this report, we're going to take a short break, but first, remember you can join us on TikTok at telesur English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. Just one day away from Tuesday's key presidential election in the U.S., we invite international analyst Yamir Shaur. Hi Yamir, thank you for your time here in From the South.
Hello, Alejandra. Thank you for having me again from out the South.
It's the final day before the U.S. presidential elections, as I mentioned before, and the last also opportunity for the candidates to deliver the pitch to voters. What are key issues in play today in the final hours of the presidential race?
So it's great to be on this show right now. I'm here right now in the state of Pennsylvania, doing a little bit of door knocking. Um, uh, just uh, just observing how these elections are going on here. As you know, Pennsylvania is a key state for these elections, um, and right now we're seeing things being contested here in the United States between the two candidates. That would be Kamala Harris from the Democratic Party and ex-president Donald Trump from the Republican Party.
So foreign trade, immigration, and other key issues are at the front of the candidate's agenda. How will these key foreign policy issues be influenced by the outcome of these elections, and how might they shift under the new administration?
Well, so immigration has been a very important topic in this election, as a lot of people here in the U.S. have seen how Donald Trump, with his MAGA movement, make America great again movement, has attacked immigrants. That was his first wave of how he started his campaign back in 2016 when he called Mexican people coming over the southern border drug dealers and rapists. But as his attacks when it comes to migration is basically that if Kamala Harris wins, then this country will be invaded by migrants who are going to plan to eat people's pets. When he said the xenophobic topic about the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, other than Kamala Harris, that also the Democrats have a more lenient policy when it comes to immigration, still wanting to deport immigrants, but not as vicious as Donald Trump. But overall, what the two candidates failed to see is that the migrants coming over the Mexican border, um, you know, are coming because they're coming out of a necessity, and a lot of this necessity is connected with the foreign policy of the United States, interfering with the stability of the countries that they're coming from.
Regarding the Middle East issue, these elections are overshadowed by the ongoing genocide in Gaza and also the increased Israeli aggressions against Lebanon, a war of terror that has left over 40,000 deaths. Can the Middle East crisis be a decisive point in the voting tensions at the swing states, particularly in Michigan, where there is a large Arab American population, but also in Pennsylvania, where you are?
Most definitely. I believe that what is happening in the Middle East with with the um, with the genocide being facilitated by the state of Israel has an effect in these elections. As we know, Michigan is home to the biggest Arab American population, and many of them have been disillusioned by the Biden and Harris administration with their lack of not doing enough for the situation out in Gaza, and also reprimanding the prime minister genocide um, um, Benjamin Netanyahu. Um, so, uh, and also when it comes to the Trump administration, Trump is also in support of the state of Israel. As in Michigan could be a very tricky topic, uh, knowing how it could swing, given the amount of Arab Americans, seeing how there was a Muslim community that were angry at the Biden and Harris and endorsed Donald Trump, as well as Kamala Harris and her vice president pick Tim Walz also campaigning in the state of Michigan. So it could go either way.
Thank you. Thank you, Yamir, for all the informations. We were talking to Yamir Shabur just one day away from Tuesday's key elections in the U.S. In other informations, in Venezuela, more than 300 representatives of the legislative body will participate from today and tomorrow in the Anti-Fascist World Parliamentary Forum. The meeting will bring together parliamentarians from 70 countries, including Cuba, China, Russia, Iran, Palestine, and other nations from Africa and Latin America and Europe. The event will take place at the Bolivar Park Convention Center in Miranda State. The participants will also develop an intense two-day agenda that includes presentations and debates on blockades and coercive measures, as well as parliamentary diplomacy for peace, legislation against fascism, neo-fascism, and similar expressions, all topics under the slogan Humanity or Fascism. During the Anti-Fascist World Parliamentary Forum, the legislator for the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, Carola Chavez, stressed the importance of defending the sovereignty of the countries worldwide in the face of the constant violations of international law by the West through blockades, invasions, shellings, and genocide.
It is paramount that we come together and defend our sovereignty, our independence, our right to exist, our right to be. It cannot be that international laws are violated with blockades, invasions, indiscriminate shellings on countries, civilians, killing children, committing genocide, and nothing happens.
We have a second show break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, there you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. In Lebanon, the Zionist army committed a new aggression against a suburb in Sidon, killing at least 3 people. The Lebanese Health Ministry reported that in the attack on an apartment building in Hadid, Sidon, on Sunday, approximately 9 people were wounded, marking the 3rd attack in the area in the past 2 weeks. Authorities also stated that the number of people killed as a result of the Israeli aggression amounted to 2,986, while more than 13,000 were wounded. Under the false discourse of attacking military targets of the Lebanese Hezbollah resistance, the Israeli army continues destroying civilian infrastructures and murdering hundreds of innocent people, including journalists, humanitarian personnel, women, and children.
This is a residential area that has no connection to the war or to missiles or to anything. They're targeting innocent people, women and children, people that have nothing to do with any of this. Why would we leave the neighborhood? This is our neighborhood, our families, our people, and our area. Why would we leave it? Because of the Zionist aggression. We won't leave our land and our country because of that.
In Palestine on Monday morning, Israeli settlers set fire to a large number of cars, terrorizing the population of the occupied West Bank city of Al-Bideh. The Zionists also damaged other properties of Palestinian citizens. Hundreds of incidents involving settlers against Palestinians are recorded every year, including deaths of or injuries and the total or partial destruction of property. In this regard, the international community has repeatedly expressed its concern over settler violence, which has reached a record level since Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet came into office.
Next to us is the settlement of Jabal al-Tal. This settlement is tightly closed, and its security measures are strict, so how can this gate be opened and settlers be allowed to pass through the storm areas inhabited by citizens, burn these vehicles and cause this great damage that has reached 17 vehicles, in addition to terrorizing thousands of citizens, children and women?
This Monday, the Israeli government notified the United Nations its decision to break ties with the United Nations Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East. The Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, informed through his ex-official account that the decision was taken after the Israeli parliament prohibited the agency's activities in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories with two laws. The Israeli Foreign Ministry said the legislation will come into force in the next 3 months. UNRWA was established in 1950 and since then has been responsible for providing social services to more than 5 million refugees now living in Gaza, the West Bank, Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon. In India, a passenger bus veered off the road and plunged into a deep gorge on Monday, killing at least 36 people and injuring several others. A bus carrying approximately 40 passengers crashed into a gorge in Uttarakhand, resulting in at least 36 fatalities. The accident occurred near Marshall, north of India. Rescue efforts are underway, with survivors transported to nearby hospitals. Images released by the Indian news agency PTI showed the overturned bus in an area with abundant vegetation, while dozens of people watched from a distance. The Russian Federation commemorates National Unity Day, established by decree of President Vladimir Putin in 2004. The celebration began with a traditional ceremony in Moscow's Red Square. Unity Day replaces the triumph of the Great October Socialist Revolution that was commemorated every November 7th since 1918 and was discontinued when the Soviet Union disintegrated in 1991. The Day of National Unity symbolizes the political reconciliation in Russian society and is intended to contribute to the unity of more than 190 peoples with ethnic, religious, and social differences. In Spain, weather authorities issued a red alert in Catalonia due to the heavy rains after the passage of the Dana phenomenon. The state meteorological agency AEMET issued a warning of significant danger for the coastal and pre-coastal areas of Catalonia. Authorities confirmed flooding in several places and the forecast of hail in the midst of the heavy rains caused by the passage of the Dana. Authorities have also urged the population to act with caution and avoid unnecessary travel, even if it's not raining heavily at certain times. In view of the situation, classes were suspended in up to 9 counties. Amidst popular anger at state inaction rains block rail routes in Valencia, while soldiers continue search and rescue operations. At the request of civil protection authorities, the Spanish Transport Ministry authorities announced the suspension of all commuter trains in northeastern Catalonia. Traffic on several highways was also disrupted due to floodings, while air traffic controllers operating at Barcelona Airport in the south of the city were forced to reroute at least 15 flights. Meanwhile, the military and civil guards continue to search for missing people in the areas affected by the devastating floods that have so far left more than 200 people dead. We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok as well. For TeleSUR English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.